My name's Jesse Rapczak. I'm co-founder, co-creator of Studio Wildcard.
So Jason, Ark is kind of this Steam phenomenon right now. You had a 7-month development cycle. What was that like?
It was like we did 2 years of work in 7 months. It was insane. Like a lot of long hours, but the team was really excited to try to get the game to a playable state by June because we knew we would have like crazy dinosaur fever by then. Dinosaurs are so huge in our game, and we were really excited about Jurassic World, and we just wanted to have a game out there by that point. And it was a good target to push for, and I think we got where we wanted to be in time. And now we're already on updates and getting more people playing the game that couldn't play before, and adding more content that we've just been planning to add over early access. So,
how has fan feedback helped you develop the game since it was released on early access on Steam?
It's almost like real-time development with the fans. I mean, people are so passionate on our forum. We also pay a lot of attention to the Twitch streamers and their comments and their fans' comments in their Twitch feeds for chat. We really try to take any change we do very carefully and listen to how it's received by the fans. Sometimes we'll make a change that's bad and people really tell us, hey, no, this was better before. You need to, put metal in more places where it was and not just isolate it to one side, part of the map, for instance. It's really easy for us to push out a build that reacts to stuff like that. And the fans themselves, we have really tried in our game to make it so that people can get a lot out of playing the game and not fear that there's stuff is going to get wiped every 2 weeks and something like that. And so I think it brings more people into the game, lets them feel more comfortable about playing for longer terms because they know their character data is not just going to get wiped, So.
Now we've seen a resurgence of these survival, control your health, water, fatigue, games come back, and no one's ever done something like this, but it seems to just beg for it. Why do you think no one's ever done this until now?
I don't know, and that's one of the reasons, another reason why we wanted to try to come out as soon as we could, because we wanted to kind of be like one of the first survival games. It was really more than survival. Survival for us is the first few hours of gameplay. You still have to do it, but once you learn how to manage your resources and your food and water and all that stuff, that's just something you kind of do in the background. You get dinosaurs to help you. You can build structures that grow food for you, that give you water from the nearest lake. Once you figure that stuff out, then it's about exploration. It's about discovering the world, why it's there, what are these obelisks, why is there technology and mixed in with all these crazy prehistoric creatures. There's really a backstory that we want the players to discover in Ark, and that's really something that we're lacing in through early access is our Explorer notes, getting our different sort of systems in for people to find and the story that's happening within the game, and then to get to our end game and actually achieve something great in Ark and not just feel like it's survival.
You guys have proxy chat in the current build, and will you be adding it, proximity chat in the future?
Well, we have proximity voice chat for sure, and that's been huge for us. Proximity text chat, I'm not sure what our plans are there. I feel like a lot of people use voice in the game. Everybody, whenever you're watching somebody play, you'll always see the microphones popping up above people's heads. And the proximity chat really adds a lot because our mouths move when you talk. It's almost like an avatar for people. They just hang out in the game and talk sometimes. It's really nuts. Proximity chat would be fairly easy, but it almost takes away from the immersion of being there and just walking up to someone and saying, hey, how's it going? I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to see your house, type thing. So,
can you talk about your relationship with Microsoft and how they've helped you with Ark?
So Microsoft, I worked there for a while. I actually left Microsoft to work on Ark last year. And so I think just being really close to them, I haven't moved or anything. I still live in Seattle where I lived before. I've been able to come visit the ID at Xbox team, talk a little bit about their plans and how we can integrate with stuff like this. We're really happy to be part of the show here. I was able to bring builds into Microsoft and kind of get their feedback and let them see the game. So we've been kind of back and forth with them about our plans, and they've been really supportive. So I think as we go forward, we'd like to see more of a relationship with both Microsoft and Sony. Sony's been supportive of us with Morpheus and giving us access to the dev kit so that we can expand our current Oculus implementation into a PS4 Morpheus implementation as well.
So can you talk about the VR capabilities of this game? Oculus is working on compatibility right now, and Morpheus as well?
Yeah, so Oculus is actually in the current Steam build. If you have an Oculus, you can enable it and play the game with it. Our biggest challenge with VR is obviously performance. The minimum specs for Oculus are pretty steep for a lot of gamers. It's a 970, And so for us, that's going to be our target for our VR support, is a high-end gaming PC, especially a year from now. The game doesn't really launch for another year. So when it comes to the PC specs, that's where we're going to be focusing our VR efforts. Now when it comes to the consoles, obviously with Morpheus, you know, we're going to be paring down our graphics a little bit to make sure that we can run at the right frame rate and stuff for Morpheus on PS4. The Unreal Engine really allows us to do that a lot with the way that we've built the game. Even right now in the PC build, when we launched, we didn't have support for DirectX 10, and a lot of gamers with integrated graphics cards wanted to play Ark. And so over our first week, we kind of backported our game to DX10. It's actually possible to run at a higher frame rate right now on lower end cards because we're turning off a bunch of our high end features. And so we'll just do more of that, more optimization, and with the VR stuff, you'll see more of it in early access. You'll be able to test it ahead of the Morpheus launch next year.
Do you guys have a PC launch or a console date when it's going to come out?
Yeah, right now we're targeting next June. It's 2016. But that being said, if people want to hop in now and keep giving us feedback, our Mac and our Linux builds are targeted for the end of this month. And so we'll be on PC, Mac, and Linux for early access for the rest of the year before we start focusing on our final game content and game modes based on early access that we're going to ship for console.